I will get with my buyer and see what other times she has available. Period. In the meantime, do you have anything this evening or tomorrow? Question mark. Hey guys, how are you?
Good morning.
We'll give it a few minutes to get some more people in, okay? Stacy, where are you from? What office?
Cerritos.
Oh, okay, nice. And is that Cyrene? Let's see. Got Brandon, Brian. All right, we'll wait for a couple more people to come on. I'll be right back. Right. I see a lot of new faces here. So I'm Susie. I'm the productivity coach for the La Mirada office. I am also a listing specialist on the Anderson Real Estate Group out of the Long Beach office. So nice to see you guys all on here, and thank you for participating in your growth. We'll just wait a few more minutes. Hi, Nick. Does everybody have the participant guide? You will need them, so let me know. Nick typically posts them on Firestone as well as Spring Street and the Cerritos Facebook group.
I don't have it. Can you send a link?
Let's go. Should be coming to you now. Do you see it? Okay.
No.
Get on the chat. Brandon sees it, so I'm also going to put another one on there that we'll be using today, which is the pre-listing questionnaire.
Thank you.
For those of you that are just getting on, if you look at the chat, the participant guide is there. I am just looking for another document that we'll be using. That way you guys can have them all. Oh, let's see. Minute, I don't know why it's not. Did everybody get the participant guide? I'll try the pre-listing questionnaire one more time. There we go. So you guys, if you look at the chat, the participant guide will be on there, as well as a pre-listing questionnaire that we'll be going over today. So welcome everybody. I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can start. And guys, if you do something on the chat, because I am managing multiple screens today, if you post something on the chat and I'm not responding, just take yourself off of mute and go ahead and interrupt and ask your question. Hi, Keith.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. All right, everybody ready with their notepads and pens or pencils? So today we're going to talk about finding seller leads as well as buyer leads. Mostly we're going to be focusing on seller leads today though. Okay. And what we'll focus on today is lead generating, again, for buyers and sellers, but a majority of this is going to be for sellers. Everybody knows about the do not call compliance list, correct? All right. So, guys, how do we find seller leads? Anybody?
Direct mail.
Direct mail, okay.
Sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence, yep. Does anybody know what the daily 10-4 is? So Ignite tells you that on the daily, you should be doing 10 contacts, having 10 conversations, doing 10 handwritten notes, and previewing 10 homes a week. Now, while we can't do that right now in person, it is important that on the daily you are looking at the area that you are either farming or generally working with to figure out what homes are actually active, if there's any price changes, you know, understanding days on market in your area. So just really getting into the know about your area. Open houses, I know we currently can't do those right now, so that's a bit hard. Referrals, anyone else? Has anybody worked on for sale by owners? Okay, for sale by owners is another way you can get seller leads. Expired listings, not just the absolute current ones, but ones that are 1 to 2 years old. I've actually coached a few clients that have started focusing on expireds. And gosh, probably in about 45 days, one of my clients has had 4 listing appointments, has 1 listing already on the market, is nurturing 2 others right now. So that's another way to find seller leads. Anyone else have any ideas?
Social media.
Social media, yep, I love it. And you guys should be writing these down. Social media is a good one. It's super important to humanize yourself on social media. So while it is important to let people know that you are active, it's also important to show them a little side of you that's more on the personal side, you know, whether it be fun time with your kids, a date night, a hobby or a sport that you like to do. And guys, if you don't have listings right now or any buyers that you're working with, you can use the office's listings. I know one of my coaching clients, anytime someone has a listing, he'll post it on his social media and say, you know, we have a listing coming up, DM me for details, and he posts a bunch of photos of it. And I know that he does ask the agent, but I do know most agents would have no problem you marketing their listing. I know I wouldn't, because that just means more eyeballs on my listing. So that's a good way to do it if you don't currently have business. And farming, while you can't be door knocking right now, someone mentioned direct mail, and you could do that as well as sending text messages and emails. And as you contact those people, you can put them in your database, start dripping on them and sending them items of value. Anyone else have any ideas?
Circle prospecting.
Yes, I love that. Tell me more about, tell the group more about that.
Like what you mentioned, like if you have a listing, just like calling the neighborhood or even someone in the office that may have a listing, if you asked if it's okay, if I could, market, tell people about the listing, and then you can just circle prospect that listing.
Absolutely. You can say, hi, Keith, this is Susie from Keller Williams. We have a listing right down the street in your neighborhood that's coming up. We know we have an excess of buyers that are looking, and we know that there are going to be a lot of buyers that are going to miss out on that property. So we are searching the neighborhood to see if there's anybody willing to sell. Do you know of anybody? See, I'm not asking them directly, right? Do you know of anybody? Instead of, because you don't want to say, are you wanting to sell? For some that works, but I come to find that if you ask, do you know of anybody, they'll either tell you about maybe a neighbor that they feel is, oh, well, I noticed that they were packing, or man, that person, like one time I called and one of the people said, well, the lady across the street is really old. She shouldn't be living by herself, So you do get some more feedback in that regard. And then too, when you have someone that has already sold a property, very similar, hi, Susan, my name is Susie from Keller Williams. We just sold 123 Park Avenue. A lot of buyers missed out on that property. So we're searching the neighborhood to see if there's anybody that's looking to sell. We have a lot of buyers that are looking to get into your neighborhood. Simple as that. Right now, we got to get a little more creative because we can't do open houses and door knocking, right? Anyone else got any good ideas of how we can find sellers? We got a lot of them. Hope you guys are taking notes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the FISBO stuff?
I'm sorry, Keith, you
Can
cut
you-
out.
Oh, sorry. Can you talk a little bit about the for sale by owner, the FISBO, like the strategy behind that?
So very typically a for sale by owner is either someone that has a high deep, well, let me explain that. Maybe not everybody knows the DISC profile. Most for sale by owners have either high D personalities, which are very driven. They want to get results quick, fast, or a high C, which is someone that's super analytical and they're very, very detail oriented, but believe that they can do it on their own. Regardless, at some point, they're going to get to a point where they're going to need someone to help them, right? So with the for sale by owners, and you can look those up on, give me 1 minute, guys, sorry. You can look those up, or Title can give you them. You can look them up on the MLS. But really the conversation is just, hi, Keith, I noticed that you had your house for sale on the market. Is there a reason why you hadn't hired an agent? You can do that. Or out of curiosity, have you gotten any buyers? Or are you willing to pay commission if I bring a buyer? Those are just questions that can open up the conversation, right? And at the end of the day, guys, bottom line is oftentimes, and we'll talk about this as we get further into the session, us salespeople, for some dumb reason, we like to sell, we like to talk a lot, right? So when we're on the phone with them, we're trying to sell them. But at the end of the day, that phone call, whether it be circle prospecting, expireds, anything like that, your main objective is to get an appointment. Do the selling when you're there, when you've built the rapport. So, you know, Keith, if they say something like, yeah, I may be willing to entertain that, you know, don't start, oh, great, are you willing to pay 2.5% or blah, blah, blah. Just say, great. When can I stop by your home to take a look at it so I know the flow of it, so that when I have a buyer that I believe matches that criteria, I will keep your house in mind. It's as simple as that. Just get your foot in the door.
Cool.
You know, you might see that someone, you know, I've seen some that are like $100,000 overpriced. You know, out of curiosity, Susan, where did you come up with that price point? Okay, and watch your tone, right? Your tonality is super important. You want to make sure that you're not coming across as combative or asking a question that can allow them to get defensive or combative. And then say, oh, well, that's what Zillow said. Oh, that's wonderful. You know, and don't start trying to say, well, you know, Zillow, blah, blah, blah. Say, I would love to do this for you. I can send you a most recent comparative market analysis, which actually consists of the homes specifically in your neighborhood. Some sites, right? Some sites, not Zillow, because if they told you that they said, well, Zillow told me it was worth this. Now, if you say Zillow, now you're being combative. So you can say some sites actually don't take a lot of things into consideration, like upgrades or type of street it's on, or sometimes they're looking at homes that are in a slightly different area where it could mean that your home could be valued higher or lower. Do you see where I said higher first? Because then they're like,
Yeah.
maybe I haven't priced my house right. And then you can, when would be a good time to stop by to drop that off for you? Does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on that, guys? Remember, this is your guys' time to learn. So I'm super comfortable deviating from anything so that you guys can get the most out of this session. And I'll just check the chat real quick. Nope, okay. Make sure no one needs to get admitted. Last time I didn't admit people, but you guys got the login code this time, right? I know, Nick told me, I had people text messaging me. I'm like, I didn't know I had to admit people. All right, guys. Let's move on to the next slide. So now we're going to talk about qualifying and converting seller leads, okay? So if someone can read to me, these are some connecting questions. Guys, just so you know, I'm very big on picking people if nobody wants to participate, so you may as well try to participate. Wait, give me 1 minute, I got to chat. Can you send the Spark package, please? Yes, give me 1 minute. Did you not see it in the chat? Here, I'll just try to do it again, guys. Thank you so much for bearing with me. And guys, just so you know, how you enter or how you find the participant guide. No worries, Celinda, I just sent it. So what you guys should be doing, if for some reason, because we're all human, let's say Nick forgets to post, right? Go under KW Connect. Okay, write this down. Go under KW Connect. Then resources. There's going to be a drop-down box where it says KW University, KWU. You're going to click that. And there you will see Ignite and all other kinds of things. You're going to want to click on Ignite 2.0 Labs. And once you click on that, you're going to do participant resources. And then you'll be able to get all of the data there, all of your participant guides, and downloading the Ignite toolkit. Mario, thank you so much. Mario just posted on the chat the link, if you guys want to copy and paste that, okay? All right, guys, so we're going to talk about qualifying and converting leads. So let's talk about some connecting questions. First of all, you're going to want to get some details to add to your database, right? So who wants to read the first question?
If you would please tell me a little bit about your family, job, life, etc.
Why would you want to ask that question, guys?
Maybe to get a little motivating information.
To build rapport with them, to get to know them.
Yep. Do you guys oftentimes, when you are following up, find out, basically, do you guys run out of things to talk about? I believe oftentimes people don't follow up because we simply don't know what to say. And we constantly feel like we're selling, correct? So when you ask someone to tell you a little bit more about themselves, their family, their job, etc., it gives you something a little bit more personal to talk about. So if I said, hey, Susan, so tell me a little bit about your job. What is it that you do? Make something up, Susan.
I work in manufacturing as an accountant.
Oh, wow. What type of manufacturing?
We assemble ranges for restaurants, the little devices. Yeah.
That's awesome. How did you get into that field?
One of my friends, she works there, and at the time when I was looking for a job, she mentioned to me there was an opportunity. So I've been there for about 4 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you ask a question, right, you're going to want to delve in, and what I call it peeling back the layers of the onion. You're going to want to go 2 to 4 questions deep. Okay. And you're going to want to start taking notes. So Keith, tell me a little bit about your family. Do you have a family? Hey, by the way,
I do. I have.
and I'm going to give you a cue when you ask about family. If I'm talking to Keith, I'm not going to ask him if he has a wife, because what if he has a husband, right? So I'm just giving you those little tidbits, okay? I mean, you just don't know, right? Because then you don't want to be in that awkward conversation. Well, actually, Susie, I have a husband. You know what I mean? And then you got this like deer in the headlights face. So, you know, make sense? All right, Keith, tell me a little bit about your family.
I have a wife and 2 boys. One's in high school, one's in junior high. They're both
Nice.
at private schools. They like to go to the beach and paddle and stuff.
Okay, so I'm writing all that stuff down. I want to know the kids' names. Okay, I want to know what sports they're in. You know, and I know what schools they're in, because now when I'm following up with Keith, what's your wife's name?
Jody.
So I can say, hey, Keith, how are you and Jody doing? How are the kids? How's soccer going? Then I'm not simply just talking about, hey, did you know that interest rates are low right now? And, you know, you can get into a bigger house for less money, right? Because that's why we're not following up, guys. We're tired of saying the same thing, and it sounds so salesy and canned. So that's why you want to ask those questions. And when you ask someone to tell you a little bit more about themselves and you ask them to elaborate, you're going to get a lot more than, hey, Jason, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? You know what I mean? So asking the open-ended questions are going to really help you out. So let's talk about assessing their wants, needs, and plans. Okay, now guys, this could be for buyers and sellers, right? So someone read that one out for me. So you know what, I'm gonna play the buyer. So I'm a seller and a buyer, right? So I want someone to ask me the questions right there, these. And guys, guess what? Now's as good a time as any, because if you role play with me and in this little group and we mess up, That's good, because we rather mess up here, right, than with the client.
Hi, Susie. This is Susan. What are you looking for?
You know, I'm just looking for a Spanish style little bungalow. It's just myself, so 2 bedrooms, 1 or 2 bathrooms would be perfect for me.
Very nice. Very nice. I don't know if the next question matches that. What do you want to do?
No,
or is it like I choose one of them?
give me 1 minute. Hugo, we're not on a page right now on the participant guide. We're actually just on the page of the slide that you see here, which is connecting questions.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. So Susan, this is good. When you asked me what I'm looking for and I told you a bungalow, 2 bed, 1 bath, right? Remember, you guys, write this down. You want to go 2 to 4 questions deep.
Okay.
Think about peeling back the layers of an onion, right? That's where you're going to get into the thick of things. So then maybe your next question is, you know, what do you plan on doing there? Or tell me a little bit about your lifestyle, right?
Okay. Okay.
What do you want to do? That's kind of an odd question.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should
will-
say that.
I will tell you this. I'm very big on verbiage, tonality. You'll start to notice that as we talk. And for me, when you ask a question, what do you want to do? Even the way it's asked, even when you fix your tone and inflection, it does come across as you're eliciting more of a defensive or a combative answer. So I would just start peeling back the layers on, tell me what you're looking for, right? And if you guys have a buyer's needs analysis, there's one, gosh, on Ignite, there's a toolkit there, right? It does ask a lot more questions where they're digging deeper. You know, I would say, okay, so Susan, you're the one looking for the 2 bedroom, 1 bath bungalow style. So Susan, what area are you looking for?
Well, I want to be by the beach, closer by the beach.
All right.
In Long Beach area. Yeah, Long Beach area, not so quite in Belmont area, but I like the area that's nearby.
Like what? What would you see yourself doing there?
Well, I just really like the idea of just like walking to restaurants, but I don't want to be so close to all the activity. But I
Okay.
just want to be walking and to restaurants, little shops, and enjoy my mornings getting coffee at a restaurant.
Lovely. Guys, this is great, and I'm going to tell you why. I want you to write this down. We salespeople sell the way we buy. And I'm going to explain that to you. Susan told me that she wants to be walking distance, but not too close. Okay. Me, Susie Cabrera, I live 6 houses away from 2nd Street in Belmont Shore. So to me, that's walking distance, and it's not too close because I'm not the first or second house. I'm not the house on the alley or the one right in where if someone's at Legends, they're stumbling across and leaving beer bottles on my house, right? That's what close walking distance means to me, but not too far. Susan, tell me what that meant to you.
It's like 3 blocks away. Like I want privacy. I want a residential, but yet I want to be a part of what's going on, but more reserved. Yeah, like
Absolutely.
back me away.
And that is why I say we sell the way we buy. Remember, it's all in our context, right? So if I tell you, I want a fully remodeled house, or I'm sorry, I want an updated home. Updated to Susie means I want the white cabinets. I want that marble countertop, stainless steel. Updated to someone else could be, updated from the 90s, right? Like just the regular granite, black and stainless. So that's what I mean by we really do sell the way we buy. So we can't assume. If someone says they want a big yard, you're going to want to say, what does big look like to you? Okay, open floor plan. What does an open floor plan mean to you? That's what I mean by when you're any questions, connecting questions, getting into the nitty gritty, 2 to 4 layers deep, peel back the layers of the onion, and don't assume that what they're saying is how you would see it. All right, so where would you like to buy? Where's your home located? Those are also connecting questions. This is a good one, determining their motivation. This is where I feel that people need to really, really start digging deeper. I will say this, psychology and human nature dictates that we will run faster from pain than we will run to pleasure. You guys definitely remember this in sales. Human beings innately will run away from pain before they run towards pleasure. So when you are asking these questions, you're gonna wanna drill down to what the actual pain is for why they want to sell. So let's get a volunteer here. Who wants to be the seller? Who hasn't
I'll go for
spoken
it.
yet?
I'll go for it.
All right, Hugo.
Yes.
Okay, so Hugo, tell me why you're moving.
I'm moving.
Or why do you want to move?
Why do I want to move? I want to move because personal family issues.
Personal family. Tell me more about that.
When I come through the door, it's not the same feeling as it once was. The feeling of home is not here. It just feels like a house again. I don't know.
Okay, so right now your home just feels like a house.
Correct.
And what is causing that?
Well, Uncle passed and used to live here with us.
Oh, okay. Did he pass in the home?
Not here per se, but he passed away, and his room is one of the rooms here. But his spirit and just him being in the house, it's not there anymore. So,
Gotcha. And how would you feel if you didn't find a place or if you weren't able to sell?
honestly, I'd probably go crazy because I'd probably go crazy. Yeah.
Guys, right there, do we have a motivated seller? So
Yes, we do.
when I present him offers or when he's looking for his up leg, meaning his replacement property, what am I going to hit when he says, I don't want to offer $10,000 more. I don't want to get into a bidding war. What am I going to say to him? What do you guys, what would you say to Hugo? I want to volunteer.
Hugo, do you see this as being your home? Like when you walk in, is this something that you feel like could be your home?
Actually, I do. Yeah, it definitely has that feeling.
Okay, so then what we got to do is counter those offers or get an offer accepted. So that way we can call this your new home.
I understand, but is there anything else that we can possibly offer? Maybe not that high.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, would you like to look at the comparables around and just really make a decision that you would be comfortable with?
All right, I'm gonna object right there.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are doing great. I love this, and I'll tell you why. Because these are the things that you guys would say. And if we're not role playing these things out, you're not getting the tools that you need to combat this, right? The first thing I said is, as human beings innately, we run away from pain before we run towards pleasure. You're taking him down the pleasure aspect, right? Can you see yourself in this home? Unfortunately, guys, that's not going to be as effective as taking him to the pain. So Hugo, I understand that you don't want $10,000 more. I get that. However, remember I explained to you in this market, we are in a seller's market. And the truth of the matter is that the comparables don't mean anything right now. What matters is what people are willing to pay. And right now, people are willing to pay over market value to get into homes because there is a very limited supply of homes. That being said, how much longer are you wanting to stay in your current home, feeling the way you feel, looking at your uncle's room every day, knowing that things aren't the same, that the house just feels like a box and not like a home?
Yeah, you have a point. Let's go ahead and offer.
Okay, you guys, write this down.
Man,
Logic makes you think. Emotion makes you act. And I'll give you a prime example of that. When you price a house just above market value, and you're an agent, and you're doing the comparables, and there's no offers on the property, what are you hitting your client with? The comparables, right? That's logic. Logic is, hey dude, this house down the street sold for $789 and they want $850. We should probably only offer $789 or $799. That's logic. Okay. When you have a house at $750 and I'm Hugo's agent and 123 Park Avenue that's selling for $750 has 15 offers on it, do you think Hugo's willing, if he has the money, to offer $800,000 if that's what it's going to take to get into the house, so that he no longer has to look at that box, the memories of the uncle and what have you? That's emotion. And that's why when you're asking the questions of why they're moving, you got to drill down into that pain. Because when you get an offer or you're getting a request for repair, because look, guys, you get into escrow, right? And now what? Now there's requests for repairs. And for those of you that don't know, because I do a lot of listings, you get into a bidding war and all of a sudden that client will offer 30, 40, 50 over list price, but now they're going to want to gouge the client on requests for repairs. And so now you got to start dealing with your seller in the pain aspect of it. Hugo, I know that they asked for $15,000 worth of repairs. They did give us 50 over. And I know that you really want to get into 123 Park Avenue because you're just, this house has not felt like a home to you guys in a long time. How much longer are you willing to keep your family here before you start living the life that you want to live in another home?
the sooner the better.
You got to hit them on that pain, guys. That's what's going to make them act. So when would you like to do this, Hugo?
Let's go for it today.
Okay. What if he says 3 months from now? What would you guys say?
I don't know, something more.
Because here's the thing, guys, this is a good one because for me, if I was feeling what Hugo is feeling, I'd want to sell right now. And that's where my brain would think, oh man, this guy's ready. Let's go. Let's do it. And I mean, like, when do you want to sign? Right. But I still have to ask him, when do you want to do this? Because not everybody thinks the way we do, right? Hugo may be able to deal with that for 3 more months. And if I ask him, when would you like to do this? Hugo, tell me again what you said to me.
Let's just go for it right now.
No, the 3 months. When would you like to do this, Hugo?
Oh, 3 months.
Wonderful. What happens in 3 months?
I'll get prepared to sell and go through the repairs.
All right, let's talk about that. Tell me more about you're going to get prepared.
Boxing everything up, downsizing my items. That way the move will be pretty easy. Less
All
stress.
right. Makes sense. So Hugo, let me tell you one of the things that I do as a listing agent. And oftentimes what we have found through my experience is there are sellers that end up doing repairs that actually don't yield them a high return on investment or yield them any return at all. So my job is to ensure that you are not spending unnecessary monies getting your home prepped. Another thing is once you decide to sell your house, we got to change it into a product that appeals to the masses. I'm going to want to see what furniture that you have so that when we do a staging consultation, we're going to want to tell you what things you should be packing and what things you shouldn't.
Okay.
Okay, and this could be right in the, like if we're face-to-face, if we're at a listing appointment, right? Okay, if I'm over the phone with him, I want to get that appointment. I don't want to oversell myself, but he was a lot more open in his conversation with me. So I might elaborate a little bit and say, you know what, Hugo, why don't we do this? I have availability tomorrow at 4 o'clock and Saturday at noon. What time would work best for you? I just want to sit down and go through everything that I would do for you, the timelines. That way we can determine when we want to get started to hit your 3-month deadline. I take it back to the 3 months. I'm not trying to go to him and say, so we can sign a contract, get prepared and start moving right away, right? I'm going back to his timeline. So what time works for you, Hugo?
We can do Saturday.
Perfect. I will see you Saturday at noon. And by the way, Hugo, tell me who all the decision makers are in this, in the sale of your home.
Me and my nephew.
Okay, can we get nephew there at noon on Saturday?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna call you on Friday just to confirm and to make sure that nephew can be there. By the way, what's his name?
Charles.
Charles, all right. And that's it. We definitely want to ask if the decision makers are going to be there. Because you know what? Have you guys ever bought a car and brought your significant other or a friend to be the bad cop? Absolutely. I do it most of the time because I'm the one that goes in the dealership every 3 years and gets another car. I bring someone. Why? Because if I give them the nudge, I want them to say, okay, come on, let's go talk about it. Not having all parties there is like the recipe for, okay, I got to talk to my husband, or okay, I got to talk to my wife. And then you don't come out with a contract. All right. On assessing their expectations, on the how you plan to do this, like if you're working with a seller, I don't know that I would particularly ask that question in regards to assessing their expectation. I would be asking, and you will see this on the pre-listing questionnaire, what expectations do you have of selling your home? Talk me through your process. How do you plan on doing this is a little bit more like homework, right? Well, shit, I don't know. That's why I hired you. You know what I mean? But if you ask them to take you through their process, now you're getting an understanding of how they think. Are they slow moving? Are they quick moving? Are they a relational type person? Are they transactional? You know, if I ask Susan, how do you plan on doing this? And Susan says to me, well, gosh, Susie, like, I really don't know. I would just rely on you to tell me what to do. Now, I would know that I would want to hold Susan's hand a little bit more. I'd want to give her a list or send an email of how to prep during the staging consultation, I'd want to make sure that Susan is taking notes, right? If I ask Hugo, so how do you plan on doing this? And Hugo says, well, you give me a list of the repairs I need to do, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and pack everything that you need me to pack because I want this done right now. Then I know I got to move at his pace. Or if someone says, well, I need a detailed explanation of how you're going to do marketing, blah, blah, blah. Now you know you've got a person that you need to hit with everything. Any questions on that, guys? All right. Seller lead categories. How do we categorize our sellers and our buyers? Does anybody have their own system that they're using already that they'd like to share?
For me, like I have, first, I only have like buyer leads right now, but like the,
And Jason, I'm so sorry. Let me interject here. This should be for seller and buyer lead categories, right?
okay,
We work with both.
Yeah.
You know, I used to only work with sellers, but I'm working with buyers now. A lot of you are just simply working with buyers. So I just want to make sure that when it comes to categories, this is everyone, sphere of influence, buyers, sellers, everything, right?
yeah.
So talk me through how you categorize yours.
Well, I have my, my long range, nurture, people that are, planning to buy, but not ready within the year. So that, and also, out of state. So people are my Cal exit group. And then I have, the intermediate, which is kind of like what you have, like it's, more between more than 90 days, but somewhere between like 3 to 9 months, like, and then I have they're actively looking and motivated to get pre-qual, that are, very interested in, or have, are showing more buying signs, like, they have an area, they have a type, location.
And how are you sorting them into your database?
Well, I use the command, and I tag them.
Perfect.
I just, I have like my red tags for like type A, active now. I mean, I don't really have much for smart plans for them, but for my further out ones, the 3 to 9 months and over a year, I have different tags for them, and I try and get as much information about what they're looking for, where they're looking for it, so I can send them relevant information about the housing market, on drip, on the email drips and contact loops. So.
Got it. Okay. So first and foremost, thank you, Jason, so much. It's super important to make sure that you tag all of your buyers and sellers. And look, guys, we'll go through this system. I'll show you what I use. But at the end of the day, a system is only going to work, guys, if it works for you. We all have different personality types and different styles of doing things. So it's super important to make sure that if this doesn't work for you, just make it your own, right? So here it's talking about tagging someone as an A that is able, ready, and willing to do business in 0 to 14 days, right? And then the action plan would be a daily follow-up to secure an appointment. Okay. B category is able, ready, and willing to do business in 15 to 60 days. And then that action plan is putting them into your database and call every 2 to 3 days or at least once a week. And then you've got your C that is able, ready, and willing to do business in 61 days or more. And then that action is put them into your calendar or into your database and call monthly. So I'm going to get into what I have my coaching clients do. And give me 1 minute. Are you guys able to see my screen now that's on my email?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. You know what? I'm just going to put this on a, actually, let me see if I could. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is how I work it, okay? And I have the people that I coach do it. So, and remember guys, get your own system going, but get a system going. So how I tag people, okay, first of all, we have to have a tag for every client, meaning, are they my sphere, past client, online lead? Are they a seller? Are they a buyer? Because when you use drip campaigns, when you get to that point, you're not going to want to send out an email blast that says, how to prep your home for a sale to a buyer, right? So you're going to want to ensure that you have tags for the type of client they are. And then you want to categorize them in level of what I call hotness. And for me, someone that's ready to buy or sell in 0 to 90 days, I touch every week. And the reason why I say 0 to 90 is, how oftentimes have you guys said, oh, I'm going to wait a couple months to buy in a particular something, right? And then you end up buying it the following week. Anyone? Impulse people, right? Or
Yes.
Or they're ready in 0 to 90 days, but then they find their dream house and all of a sudden they're going to do whatever it takes to get it done right now, right? And especially guys in these times, things are changing on the daily. If someone tells me they're not looking to sell until 6 months, I'm still categorizing them a B, someone that's ready to buy or sell in 3 to 6 months. And I'm going to touch them at least twice a month. And when I mean touch, I mean personally. A text message, a video, a handwritten note, a two-way conversation, a direct message, right? Because if you look down here, what I mean by touched is a personal phone call, text, handwritten note, or DM. The touches are apart from anything that you have automated. So i.e. newsletters, emails, your 8x8s and your 33 touches. Okay. And then for category C, that's anyone that's ready to buy or sell in 6 months to a year. And I touch them once a month. And this is where, guys, asking personal related questions is going to be super important. Hey, Halloween's coming up. Are you taking the kids trick-or-treating during COVID, or what are you guys doing? Are you doing anything virtual, a Zoom? And here's the thing, guys, if you don't know what to say, pick up the phone and call someone. Or like in La Mirada, we have Inner Circle every Wednesday at 10, which every one of you guys are always welcome. But that's where we brainstorm. I know that in Cerritos and in Long Beach, you guys probably have some mastermind groups that are happening, and just ask someone like, hey, what are you doing for a personal touch, and get some ideas from them. My D category is 1 year plus, and those I touch every quarter. Okay. So whatever system you guys are using, just make sure that you stick to a system, but you have a system that works for you. Does anybody have any questions on this? Awesome. All right, let me go back to our PowerPoint.
I have a question.
Yep.
So before I used to do like a lot of open houses, and then I'm using Command and I have everybody in there. And so I have gone through my database and I have created tags of the conversation and all that. But I guess what you're saying is like create a system that would work, is sometimes I get overwhelmed with like all these people, like the A, B's and C's get lost with the D's, that there's like so many D's that maybe they haven't responded, or I'm just keeping them there. And so what do you recommend? Do you like clear it all out, like get rid of all the people that haven't responded? Do you always keep them there? Or like, what do you recommend? So that way you get like more connected with the people that, you know what I mean? Just know like your database more closely,
So-
I guess.
It's all about time blocking. How many people do you have in your database?
I have like 350 or something like that.
Okay, how many people a day can you get through?
I've tried, because I have long conversations, like maybe 10 or 5 to 10, depends on the day and time that I call.
Okay, and you said 350?
Yeah.
So you can get, if you have 350 in your database and you can hit 10 people a day,
Mm-hmm.
you can hit everyone in 35 days.
Yeah.
It's all about time blocking. How long does
Okay.
it take you to hit 10 contacts? 10 conversations?
I have to block 4 hours because
Okay,
sometimes
so
it's
then
just
that's what you do.
calling. Okay, I
So-
see.
So
I
guys,
see.
what's
Yeah.
our number one job as a realtor?
Lead generate. Yeah.
Mhm. Everything out, those are your big rocks, right?
Okay,
That's
thank
the
you.
20% of activity that yields you 80% of your results. That has to come first and foremost.
Thank you.
And guys, for those of you that look, for me, when I coach people, I have them do what's called like a pipeline report. Let me show you. So if you're one that gets overwhelmed with your database and you don't want to not contact any of your A's or your B's, right? Let me show you this. Hold on. So I'm going to show you guys just an old, I have one for, I actually have a book that I use that's handwritten with all my A buyers. So I know that I'm touching them often, but let me just share this. And look, guys, everyone's different. Like the Excel document for me, I'm very bullet point. My personality is I'm a high D, a high I. So spreadsheets and all that drive me batty. I'm also very visual. So aesthetically speaking, this doesn't work for me as well. So I have a notebook that I have all my A buyers on, but for a lot of my coaching clients, this works very well. This is like you can do like a listing pipeline tool or a buyer pipeline tool where all of your A buyers are there. Maybe you're just, so you're just entering their name, their contact information, what their next step is. Like this for me was my recruiting pipeline report. Any notes and their ranking. Like here, you can just put them all A's if you just want to deal with the all A's, and you're just going to constantly write into your notes. So you can use something like this, or in your database, just know that when you are lead generating, that the first thing that you do is you hit all of your A's, and you just have to get yourself used to making sure that you're into your database and you click on all A's and you hit those first. One of the things too, when you're managing your database, guys, is I never exit a client without having a task on there. So I'll call the client, I do the notes, and then I'm adding another task. And remember, you may have all your drip campaigns and all that. That's extra. What I mean by a task is, when are you going to personally touch them next via text, phone, email, direct message? Okay. Any questions on that? So let's hear some ahas that you've had so far.
Thank you so much for doing that simple calculation. Made me really think like, wow, I can, it's so small that I could be connecting with those people, and all I have to do is time block. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay.
For me, I'm kind of looking forward to being more of a looking for listings rather than, collecting buyers. Through FISBOs and figuring out circle prospecting, So.
Awesome.
Hi, Susie. For
Hi, Nicole.
me, the way you explained the connecting questions and kind of how to peel back the information to help understand the client better and understand how to address their needs more effectively was really helpful. So,
Perfect. Any other ahas?
Well, Keith here, I liked how you talked about the logic makes you think, emotion makes you act, the, people running faster from pain than running towards pleasure. That's a big one. If you can get inside their head and just find out what's going on, you can probably, get them motivated.
Yep. Charlie, how about you? Your volume's not up. I don't think we can hear you.
Task for every client.
Okay, say that again. Just put it up a little bit more.
Okay. The last thing you talked about, a task for every client.
Yep. Awesome. All right, guys.
Susie,
Yeah, go ahead.
Susie, I like the role play and you know how to get to the situation, how to change question and answer. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, I want to tell you something too, which leads me to this. Rika is in my office and she has taken Ignite already and she's back on it. And my guess is because every teacher is different, right? Every class is different based on the people that are attending, different scenarios come up. So it's a good, it's just a good reminder for me that anytime you're able to attend a class, even if you've attended it before, you may end up learning something new. So we're going to get into role-playing seller category leads, but for now, I'd like to take a quick 5-minute break. Okay, we're going to be back at 11:08. Does that work for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see you at 11:08. Okay.
Nice. Two minutes. Copy.
All right, guys, I'm back, but I just realized my battery's on low, so let me just plug my computer and we'll get back. In the interim, let's have you turn to participant guide on page 6, because we're going to do a role play. I'm going to share that screen with you. Are you able to see the participant guide on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we are going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to put you in groups of 2 to 3, and you're just going to role play asking questions to figure out what category, like what level of motivation they have and what category you would put them in. Okay. So I'm going to, first of all, is there anybody on here right now that is at work or something that cannot participate? I don't want to group people that are unable to participate. If you can't, can you please unmute yourself and tell me your name?
Hi, Christian.
It's Celinda. Are you talking about me, the iPhone?
I'm talking to anybody that, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put you guys in groups of 2 to 3, and we're gonna take 10 minutes to role play, asking basically like qualifying questions, rapport building questions to find out level of motivation. Are they, 0 to 30 days out? What would you do with them? But I wanna make sure that everybody is able to participate. If not, I don't want to group someone with someone that can't role play. That's all I was saying. Okay, so Cyrene is unable to participate. Okay, perfect. So give me a minute. I'm going to put you in groups. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. And so once you see your breakout room, just join it and then start role playing. It's 11:12 right now. I'm going to give you guys until 11:22, actually 11:23. To do the exercise. So you're going to role play with each other to determine whether your partner is an A, B, or C. And remember, you guys, an A, B, or C could be like 0 to 14 days, or like in my case, an A is 0 to 30 days or 0 to 60 days. So whatever category you put them in, you're also going to let us know what amount of days they're ready to buy or sell. Okay. Does anybody have any questions first? All right, I'm going to put you in rooms now. We'll see you back at 11:23. So you've all been invited to join now. Go ahead and join your breakout rooms. And guys, you can use the example, the sample questions on connecting on page 5. All right, guys, how'd it go?
We're pretty good.
Good.
Really good.
So can someone tell me, give me an example of questions they asked, what did they uncover to determine what category you would be putting them in? You know me, guys, I'm not shy about calling on people.
In our group, Mario asked, when we looking to schedule an appointment, and I know Keith's response was, I want to say a couple of weeks, if not to a month out or something like that. And so that to me is like a category B.
Okay, hey, this is good. What did you determine prior to that? Like when someone says to you, I love A, that you asked for the appointment. So anytime you guys, this is like, write this one down. When you ask someone, when were you thinking about doing this? Or when did you want to set up an appointment? Whatever their response is, your response should be, great. What happens in 3 weeks to 2 months? Because I want to understand their mindset. If you say, well, why not now? And then we can look at your timeline, that's a little bit combative, right? But if you say what happens in 3 weeks to 2 months, then we can uncover. Remember earlier when I asked Hugo what happens in 3 months, his response was, I want to get my home ready. I want to start boxing things up. I want to do repairs. And then I was able to come back and say, wait, I don't want you to do repairs if you're not going to get your monies back. My job is to make sure that you're spending less money, and so do you see where we're going with that? Mm-hmm. That was a good one. Thank you, Hugo. What about somebody else?
I think my takeaway from the conversation that Hugo had was that even though he said in about a month, he was willing to make an appointment the next week. So to me, that means that he is really ready. It's just that he's kind of apprehensive or scared or unsure. And I think that he can be, made more comfortable. Because if he says, well, I want to wait, but then he says, well, okay, I can meet with you next week. It's kind of two different things. But his willingness to meet the next week means that he's not hard-lined against moving faster than a month.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Anyone else?
I like the first question, just like tell me about yourself, your job, family. I think when people start talking about that, they start opening up of like naturally like why they want to make a move without even asking that question. So I thought that's a good way to just break the ice kind of. Yeah.
You guys, tell me about yourself. Tell me more about that. What happens in blah, blah, blah time? Those 3 questions need to be your best friend. You will uncover more from those 3 questions than you will with most things. And remember, tell me more about that. Remember the situation with Hugo, he said, oh, my house just doesn't feel like a house anymore, like a home anymore. It feels like a house. Oh, well, tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? And you're just asking those types of questions because you want them to spill the beans on everything. The more you let them talk, the more information you're going to get to truly understand what type of buyer or seller is in front of you. Great. Anyone else want to share? One more person share. Keith, you have to unmute yourself.
There we go. Sorry about that.
All right.
So what I liked what Mario did was what you talked about, Susie, was when I said a month, he said, well, I want to get the process started so we're ready when you're ready in a month. So then he kind of sped it up to where, can we meet sooner because we want to get the process started. I thought that was pretty cool.
I love that. Though it's awesome, Mario, because that's your taking initiative, right? I would still ask what happens in a month before that. And the reason being is now you're still making it, Mario, you're still making it about Keith and his time frame. And then when you go into saying, I really would love to get this process started with you, and you're asking for that appointment, he knows that you're listening to him, right? And that it's not just your timeline, that you took the time to ask what's going on in a month. And you may uncover something, you know, like Hugo, well, I guess, you know, I got to start packing. It's going to take me a month. And you're going to be like, whoa, no, you know, we might need some of that stuff to prep your home for staging, you know? Okay. Awesome, guys. Good job. All right. So now we are going to get into pre-qualifying sellers. Okay. Let me. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so clearly when we're converting leads to contacts, right? First and foremost, you want to ask for an appointment. Remember, that's first and foremost your first job, getting the appointment. We can do a lot more of the selling after the appointment. Asking for a referral, guys, you got to get yourselves into the habit of asking for a referral. You know what, Susan, do you know of anyone else I can help the way I've been helping you? It's just as simple as that. Would you mind if in a month or two I gave you a call to see if you know anyone? I really love helping people. That may not be your verbiage, just find something that works for you and your personality. Okay, and ask for them to reciprocate the connection you've made. You know, if there's anyone you can connect them to, right? There may be, you know, they may be looking for a job, or they may be needing, I don't know, a gardener or something, right? Or what can you do to help them? All right, let's go to pre-qualifying sellers. Okay. We definitely want to understand the seller's motivation, right? We want to position ourselves as an expert. We want to win the listing. We want to allow you to price the home to sell for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Properly set seller expectations, allowing you to create a great customer experience. Okay, and in order to do that, we have a pre-listing questionnaire. So do you guys all have it? I posted it on there, and I'm going to share it with you guys right now. That's not the one. Give me 1 minute. You guys all have it, correct? I'm going to put it up, but I just want to make sure that you guys now all have it. All right, let me get back on here. All right, can you guys all see it on your screen now? So one of the things, once you get like a seller, to make the best use of your time, you're gonna want to pre-qualify the seller rather than expecting that each seller lead become an appointment, right? So you wanna start asking these questions, okay? This is something that you could either I'm sorry, guys, give me 1 minute. Okay, my apologies. So this will give you an idea of how quickly you're going to be able to get into business with this person, right? So these are some of the things that you're just going to want to write down. But one of the things that you're going to want to say to a potential seller is, do you have about 5 minutes so I can ask you some very important questions before I come out to meet you? Okay, these are some questions that you want to ask, and you can do this when you are confirming your appointment, right? If you have, Hugo and I had a Saturday noon appointment, right? So if I call him Friday to make sure that his nephew was going to be there, then I'm going to confirm the appointment and say, you have about 5 minutes so I can ask you some important questions before I come out to meet you. Okay. And who wants to read the first one? Keith, you're not muted. Go ahead.
Oh, how did you hear about me? So how did you hear about me?
Oh, I found you on Yelp.
Awesome.
Okay, so what would we ask to peel back some layers of the onion? Even just one or two. Remember, this is going to be a short but brief because you're on the phone and you want to get more in depth at the listing presentation, right, when you're in person. One of the things I would ask is, oh, who else did you find? Why do I want to ask that?
Just to see if they're working with anybody else at the moment.
Or if they're going to interview someone, right?
Right.
And then guess what? I'm going to leave it at that. Because I don't want to then say, oh, are you scheduling an appointment with them? Because you don't want to go there. Because now that's too much. But it's just, oh, who else did you find? Rolls off the tongue. You keep that in the back of your mind. You write a note. Because at the listing presentation, then you're going to want to ask, right? Okay, someone else next, number 2.
So where are you moving?
I'm probably somewhere in Texas.
Okay. Have you picked an area in Texas? Is there anything special about that's drawing you that way?
No, just, well, I have friends there.
Why did you decide to move to Texas?
Okay, that's the next question. So on number 2, guys, remember, we want to keep this short and concise, but we want to get some information, right? Where are you moving? Jason asked me, where are you moving? I said Texas. And well, actually, it does tell you right below here. What's motivating you to move there? I love that. And then how soon do you have to be there, right? So Nicole, you're spot on. So I love this because it actually does start to peel back the layers of the onion, right? And remember, this is a 5-minute combo. So, okay, so Jason, you said, what's motivating you to move there? And I'm like, I have friends that live there. And then Nicole said, how soon do you have to be there? Ideally, I'd like to be there in 1 to 3 months. Or what, okay, you know what? I'll say 3 to 6 months. So someone asked me the next question.
If we sell your home in the next 30 days, will that pose a problem for you?
Only if I don't find another home to buy.
Have you started looking for another home to buy in Texas?
No, I thought I talked to you about that process.
Definitely, I can help refer you to an agent that'll be able to help you find what you're looking for in Texas.
Okay, remember guys, I love that you said that because what do we like to do on the phone a lot? We like to sell, right? So this is supposed to be a very brief conversation. You're just planting seeds in your head as to what you're gonna have to do in the listing presentation. So I would just leave it at that. Okay, well, I haven't found a place yet. Okay, have you, I thought I'd defer to you. Okay, great. When I get there, we'll talk about that entire process. Who's gonna ask me the next question? And guys, thank you so much for participating, because the more you participate, then we can get more out of this.
So what would happen if your home didn't sell?
I mean, I'd be bummed because I really want to be out with my friends. I'm actually kind of tired of being here in California. Most of my friends have moved there, so my social network has gotten very small here. Okay.
How much do you want to list your home? Or
I
do
don't
you
know. Zillow told me 800,000. Then I think Realtor said like 750. So who knows? So what does that tell you right there? When you go to that listing appointment, you're going to want to understand the comps that Zillow used for that price point. You're also going to want to go on the realtor.com, Trulia, because at the end of the day, you're asking these questions so that you have a better understanding of what you're going to need to talk about. Okay. If I said, I want to sell it for 950,000, and you already know that my 2-bed, 1-bath house in Belmont Shore probably could only sell for 850, 875. What are you going to say? What are you going to say to that? How much do you want to list your home for? I'm like, oh, Susan, I'd say about 950.
Okay, 950. Where did you get that information, or how did you come up with that?
That is the perfect response. That is it. And then I would just say, oh, that's what Zillow said, or, well, I really wanted to retire, or whatever they say, right? You just keep that in the back of your head, you write it down, and you move on to the next, because now you know what you're going to need to talk about, right?
Yes.
All
How
right,
much
next
do you
one.
owe on the property?
Couple 100,000.
So you as the seller mentioned, oh yeah, I got that number on Zillow. I know you advise us to say something, not to like kind of neglect their knowledge or anything, but how would you go about that?
Remember, this pre-listing questionnaire is for you to gather information. You're going to want to do your selling in person. If you start to do it over the phone, you are dead in the water. The minute they say, so my home in Belmont Shore could probably sell for like, I don't know, 875, 850, 875. If I tell you 950, 975, in your brain, you already know that's too high. If I tell you Zillow, say, okay, great. We can talk more about that when I get there. That's it. But Mario, what you want to do is now I want to see where is he coming up with that price? And rest assured, on Zillow, highly likely they're going north of Livingston into Belmont Park, where the lots are bigger, the homes are bigger, but you're going to want to be able to address that. So you're going to want to do your research prior, right? If they say, oh, I don't know, my mom told me that's what she thought it was worth. Oh, that's wonderful. Do you know where she got that information from? Have no clue. Okay, no worries. On to the next one. You don't want to sell during this process. Okay, and then what's the next one?
So I'll be sending you a packet of information. Will you have a few minutes to review it before we meet?
Sure. You want to make sure that they know that you're sending them a pre-list packet, because you definitely want them to review it, okay?
Do you have any questions at the moment before we meet?
No, I don't think so. Well, no, I don't think so.
Now, will all the decision makers be there when we meet? Is there anyone else we need to bring to the table?
Well, my boyfriend, but he's not going to be available Saturday at noon.
Okay, so what would be the best time all three of us could get together and just discuss what next steps?
Okay, so I'm going to give you two scenarios. I can give you the easy route, right? Well, he gets home at 4.
Okay, how about we meet 30 minutes, give him 30 minutes to wind down, and we can set 4:30 for a good time to get together.
That's awesome. I love that, Jason. So the other one would be, well, does he have to be there? What would you guys say to that? Because that's an actual scenario that can happen to you guys, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared.
Does he, yes, have to be there. It's important that if you're moving together, that we do everything step by step.
Okay. Anyone else want to take a shot at it?
Since I would say, since, you know, a decision is being made on how you guys are going to proceed through this process, it's important that the people making the decision can get all the information that I'm going to bring in the appointment.
Love it. One of the things that you want to make sure that, so if I say, does he have to be there? You know what? No, he doesn't have to be there. However, if he is a decision maker, right? And then you go into what, I'm so sorry, I don't know who that was speaking. Nicole, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then you can go into Nicole's spiel, right? No, he doesn't have to be there, because you don't want to draw the line so hard in the sand. Then they say, well, you know what? Then I guess we can't meet until Sunday or Monday. And then another agent goes there, right? And then steals the listing from underneath you. So you can say, no, he doesn't have to be there. However, if he is a decision maker, it would be nice for him to be there so that he can hear all the information, and then we can give him an opportunity as well to ask any questions he may have. Does that sound fair? You want to get as many yeses from them as possible, right? So then obviously that sounds fair. Okay, well, will he be able to meet Saturday at a different time, or maybe Friday evening? Any questions? Do you guys want to role play this, or do you want to throw some scenarios
Well,
at me?
I guess what I'm thinking is, in that question, does he have to be there? I guess the first thought in my mind is that, is he on title? Like, you know, because like I've had clients where it's like, yeah, my husband, but I'm the only one on title. And then it's like you meet with them and they just let their partner know. And, you know, instead of waiting when the other person's available, if they're not going to be signing anything, I guess it's where
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Okay, that's great. I love this. So here's the thing, okay? When you have asked someone, are all the decision makers going to be there? And they have already identified to you, no, my boyfriend is not going to be there, right? Or it could be my husband, whatever. It doesn't matter whether or not they're on title. If they are a decision maker, they are an influencer. And you're gonna wanna meet with all of the influencers. Now, that does not mean that you don't take the appointment. If he can't be there, then what you can do is ask, okay, when is he going to be available? And if Susan, if you tell me, oh my gosh, Susie, he's so busy, he travels often, he's probably not going to be able to do it until next weekend. Am I going to wait till next weekend, or am I going to go tomorrow or on Saturday?
Right.
I'm gonna say, okay, no worries. You know what, Susan? Why don't we do this? Let's keep our appointment Saturday at noon, and we'll go from there. Does that sound fair?
Right.
I don't want to wait that long. If it's the night before, a day after, maybe, but do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, any other objections or any other questions or scenarios that you want to discuss on the pre-listing questionnaire. Jason's good. Everyone's good. All right. So let's go back to my PowerPoint. Give me a minute. There was a packet in that pre-listing questionnaire. There was a packet that Jason said, hey, Susie, will you take the time to review this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys where to find that pre-list packet, and then I'm going to show you where to find the listing presentation. So I'm just going to get into my screen because I think it's super important for you guys to know where all these tools are. All right, let's see. All right, so can everybody see my email screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so just gonna log on to KW Connect. And this is the same place where I told you to get your participant guide, so we're just gonna go through it. You're gonna go under resources. Same thing as I told you with the participant guide. KWU. Ignite 2.0 Lab. Participant resources. Do you see right here? Okay, first of all, for your participant guides, you can go here. So if you want to go here, set goals that matter. This would be your participant guide and you can save it onto a PDF, right? Okay. Oh, I just got out of it. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me just go back in and I'll show you the Ignite toolkit. So
Also, Mario pasted the link into the chat.
Yes, he did.
It'll go directly there.
Which is great for you guys to have the link, but I think it's also important for you guys to know how to access information from here.
You're right.
So you go to Ignite 2.0 Labs. Okay, participant resources. Now you already know that you can get all of your participant guides here for Spark and Elementals. You download the Ignite toolkit here. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the Ignite toolkit. Are you guys able to see a screen that says it's all about you? You can nod your head no. Okay.
No.
Okay, I'll share it right now. So in that Ignite toolkit that I told you to that you can download, there is what's called a pre-listing. Let me look at it's called a pre-listing presentation. And it's on a Word document that you can edit it, you can print it out, but this is your drop off. It's all about you. My real estate business is built around one guiding principle. It's all about you. And then it gives you a little understanding of, I will help you by understanding your wants, needs, and expectations, answering your questions, returning your phone calls and emails the same day, and being honest with you at all times, helping you obtain the highest price possible for your house in the shortest amount of time, advising you on pricing and staging once I've evaluated your home thoroughly against the market. implementing a comprehensive marketing plan to expose your house for buyers through as many channels as possible, coordinating the home showing process with your family's needs in mind, presenting all offers and advising you on the terms and contingencies contained within, negotiating on your behalf for the best offer. So it goes on. And then you see here, get ready to list. And these are things that when they're reading it, it will truly, truly help you when you're actually doing your listing presentation, because it says what it will sell for. And it's talking about the 5 factors that affect the value of the property, right? The price, location, condition, competition, timing. Okay. And then it gives you the data on a well-priced home versus an underpriced home versus an overpriced home. Okay. So they're getting an idea already before you're even there, and the condition. So this is already letting the client know that they're going to need to do probably a little bit of work. One of the things I do with my sellers is I always want to be, you know, the shiniest object on the block, right? Because I want to be as competitive as possible for my sellers. And so when they're reading this, it's already planting the seed for what I'm going to tell them in my listing presentation. Is once you decide to sell your house, we have to change it from your home to a product that appeals to the masses. And then that's when I talk about the staging consultation, the decluttering, the cleaning. But that conversation resonates more when they're able to read this, standing out from the crowd, curb appeal, inside the home, all of those things. And I really like this one, the questions for you. Your answers to these questions will guide me in how to best serve you. We'll discuss them when we meet. What is the most important thing you are looking for in your listing agent? Do you guys agree that when you write things down, you are more honest than when you verbalize them? This is one of those psychology things that I like. You know, when Jason asked me during my pre-list questionnaire, will you take the time to read through a packet that I'm going to send you? You can even go as far as to say, there is a page there that asks you some questions. If you can fill that out, it would really help me so that we can discuss it when I arrive at your home tomorrow at noon. So you're letting them know it will help me, it will help us. You want to let them know that they should be answering these questions, because I'm telling you guys, when they write it down, you're going to get more information and you're going to get more honest information. It asks, what prior real estate transaction experiences have you had? And remember, guys, when you're at your listing appointment, just remember Susie's peeling back the layers of the onions. Go 2 to 4 deep. All right. How would you like to be communicated with? Now, guys, this isn't the end all be all. Okay. But it's how they like to be communicated with. I had a client where I was selling her house, and I thought because she was an older lady that she was going to want to communicate on the phone, like an actual phone conversation. She liked email. If I called her on the phone and left her a message, she would respond to my email literally a minute after she got it and would not respond to my voicemail. So it's important to know how they like to be communicated with. How frequently would you like an update on marketing? Just kind of gives you an idea of their mindset. How frequently would you like an update on showings? If they say after each showing, remember, this is all about you understanding them. And then when you're at the listing appointment, setting the expectation. Now, guys, let me ask you a question. You may or may not know this, but after you show a property, do you often give quick feedback to an agent?
Absolutely.
You do? Susan says no.
No, unless they ask me.
Jason, you're a rare one. I like it. Most of the time, Jason, they don't. Like we have a concierge, you know, we have showing time, right? But we also, my team sends out, the showing time sends out an email right after the showing appointment, and it asks for feedback. You'd be amazed. A lot of agents don't give the feedback. So why I wanted to point that out is if your client circles after each showing, at the listing appointment, when you are setting expectation, you are going to want to say, you know what, Jason, you let me know that you would like an update on showings immediately after each showing. I want you to know that I will do everything in my power to do that. However, unfortunately, most agents don't give us feedback immediately or sometimes at all. Typically, I don't want us to come across as desperate, so I will wait a few days to solicit some feedback. And if I get it, I will give it to you as soon as I get it. But if not, I will also let you know that I was unable to get feedback. Does that sound fair?
Sure does.
Okay. This one I love. Please list what you are most concerned about in the marketing and selling process. Okay. Why I like this question is, and we're not going to go over the entire listing presentation today, but you will, when I go on a listing presentation, I always want to make sure that the client feels in control. I want to talk about what they want to talk about first, right? So for me, right, if I'm selling my house and Jason, you're my realtor, if you're not talking to me about price first, I'm not listening to your marketing plan, what you can do for me or anything, because in my brain, I'm like, okay, what's Jason going to tell me I can sell this house for, right? But if I'm an engineer, super detail oriented, and I want a complete and concise presentation on your marketing plan, you can talk to me about price all you want, but I want to know how you're going to sell it, right? So in my listing presentation, when I go, after I ask a series of questions, it is one of the first things I talk about. What would you like to discuss first? Pricing, marketing, or something else, right? This already does that for you. Give me 1 minute. I think someone might have a question. Before we close, I'm trying to make sure I have the steps on how to find this pre-listing presentation and other scripts. Hugo, were you on the call? Were you on when I showed you how to get into KW Connect?
I was, but I'm doing a little bit of the homeschooling right now, so my attention is back and forth right now. Sorry.
Okay, do you have time to write this down?
Go for it.
Okay, KW Connect,
Okay.
hover over resources,
All right.
hover over resources, click on KWU,
Okay.
click on Ignite 2.0 Labs,
Got it. Okay.
click on participant resources,
Okay.
and then at the top, you'll see download Ignite Toolkit.
Perfect.
And it has this in there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and this, guys, this page is optional. You can either complete it, edit it, or delete it from the text or remove it from your packet, okay? So this would be kind of maybe a little bit, you could actually, what I do is I have my bio on there, okay? If you have any, what's it called? If you have any reviews, or you can even use Keller Williams, your brokerage reviews, okay? So this is something that you can keep it, delete it, edit it. But this is what goes into the pre-list packet. And I will say this, guys, when you drop off a pre-listing packet to your client, it does separate you from the rest, okay? I always do a handwritten note with mine. I say, hi, Susan. You know, I'm looking forward to meeting you and Keith tomorrow at noon. Please review this prior to us getting together. And there's a page where there are some questions for you to answer. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Something to that effect, right? A handwritten note and a dropped off pre-list packet sets you apart from the rest. If you have 2 days prior to do it, I would do it then. If you have someone that isn't going to be there, I would be emailing this to them. It's not ideal, but it's something that you can do. All right, I'm gonna go back. Does anybody have any questions on that? Who's gonna use this pre-listing questionnaire and all that the next time they get a seller?
I'm
Awesome.
working on calling FSBOs later this afternoon.
All right. And guys, you know what? I am going to type my phone number in here. Give me 1 minute. If you need any help with objection handling or anything like that, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, and I will help you out. Okay, you guys can see my screen, our PowerPoint that I'm scrolling through because it went through to the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna show you guys. Well, before I show you guys how to upload a listing presentation, because we aren't going through the listing presentation today. Today was more about how you find seller leads, understanding their motivation, qualifying them, the pre-qualifying questionnaire, the pre-list packet. This, I'm simply going to show you how to upload it so that you can edit it. So before we do that, does anybody have any questions or any objection handling or role playing that you want to go through? We're good? All right. We've got one. Give me 1 minute. Awesome. Jason put his phone number on there and said, text me if you want to do a friendly race to a first listing appointment. I love it. Get some accountability and competition going. Okay, so listing presentation. I am going to now share my next screen with you. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so guys, we're gonna log into Command. Does everybody know how to log into KW Command? You can literally go under KW Connect. Okay, technology, command login. Okay. Once you do that, you click over here to, now, just so you guys know, in case you haven't been in here, you can hover over these icons and it tells you what they are. Can you see that here? Okay, thank you, Susan. So you're gonna go down here to designs. You're gonna click on that. And guys, I would write this down because while right now visually you can see it, once it's out of your brain, you might forget it. So what I do is I bullet point like, okay, command, click design, then the next one. So let me go to, so then you hit the plus sign on the bottom left. Then you go to print. You click on the print. You click on next. We're loading. You see here to the left where it says listings. You're going to click on that once and you go down here to listing presentation and then you click on that. Now there's two different types. And then you just go to use. And then here you can literally go and edit everything. This is your listing presentation here. Does anybody have any questions on this? One of the things, guys, this is designed for you to edit. You can remove anything that you feel isn't relevant. But it's a pretty good listing presentation. Okay. The mentees that I'm coaching, they all have done this and customized their own. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? If you guys are working with a majority of buyers, but all of a sudden you get someone in your sphere that says, oh my gosh, Susan, I want to sell my house. You're going to want to have this just in case. Okay.
You went to design, you clicked the plus sign, and then you went to listings.
No. Okay. So get a pen and paper, everyone, because you're going to write these down in bullet points. You're going to log into Keller Williams Command, click design, then click the plus sign on the bottom left. Then you click on print and you hit next. Then you click on listings. It gives you a drop-down box to listing presentation. It'll pull up 2 different formats for you, whichever one you want to use. I would suggest going into both of them so that you can see which one fits more of what you want your brand to look like. And then you click use. Now, guys, what I would be doing if I were you is print out the pre-listing questionnaire, the pre-listing presentation, your listing presentation, and study them. I would have an accountability partner and make sure that you guys are really, really reading these and understanding and knowing what's on them. Anybody have any questions? Oh, give me 1 minute. I just got you guys out. Okay. Anybody want to share any ahas that they had? I know we've shared some already.
I'm gonna spend some more energy becoming a listing agent.
Now, Jason, why?
Well, I mean, the first day, I mean, I was taught, you know, listing equals leverage. And in this market, I mean, it's not worth, it's definitely worth spending the energy to, you know, find one. I mean, finding buyers is not that hard. I mean, you know, you just have to find a lot of them, but finding listings is, you know, it's foreign, at least to me. And, you know, I'm going to start where I need to start. Hopefully, you know, for sale by owners, and, you know, figure out how to do circle prospecting.
Expired listings are a good one too, like 1 to 2 years out.
I have questions about that. Like,
you can get it from your title rep.
Okay.
Your title rep should be able to get that for you. You guys, Gary Keller has his triangle that says leads, listings, leverage. It's in the Millionaire Real Estate book. Okay. When you get a listing, you can acquire more leads by being able to circle prospect. Right now that you don't have listings, start circle prospecting other people's listings, right? And it leads to leverage. Why does it lead to leverage? Because when you have a listing, you do spend less time and energy than you would with the buyer. Because with the buyer, you can show them 5 homes, you can show them 20 homes. Right now, I'm sure you guys are showing a lot more because they're getting outbid, right? So you're leveraging your time by having listings versus buyers. I am not in any way, shape, or form saying don't work with buyers. I have an agent on my team that loves working with buyers because she likes the relationship, the connection. She feels listings are a little bit too transactional for her. And that's okay. You have to, you know, pick your lane, and there's nothing wrong with that. But right now, if you do have the ability to go for those listings, you are going to get a lot more of your time, and you will be able to acquire more leads.
Susie, can I ask you a personal question, just out of curiosity?
Yes.
What was your first listing experience like for you? Were you a new agent? Was it, you know, did you find the listing through a referral? Was it your sphere, or just kind of, you know?
That's a good question. So Nicole, I am very big on leveraging my time. I knew when I got into real estate that there were things that I wanted leveraged. I'm a highly driven person and a high I, right? So I wanted to be in front of people. I love helping people prep their homes. I knew my personality was more geared towards sellers and not buyers. So what I did to leverage my time and what I wanted to do with my life was I joined a team. Now, this wasn't for everybody, right? I joined a team so that my leverage could be having someone book appointments for me. So my first year, I went on 59 appointments, 59 seller appointments, and I landed 29 listings. My first experience with a listing, you know, I did have a good mentor, but I also had a very heavy sales background. So I understood, you know, the psychology of sales, voice tone inflection, systems and models. So it was very easy for me to translate all of those skills into real estate. So I feel like I had it a little bit easier, Nicole, because I had someone booking appointments for me. As a single agent, I could definitely, you know, I gave you guys some scripts for FSBOs and expireds. That's what I would be doing right now if I didn't have my time leveraged. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's really, really helpful. Thank you. Helps me put some things into perspective. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's really, you guys, it's really about how you want to live your life. You know, I was in the diamond industry for 23 years. I worked very hard. You know, I missed out on a lot of fun stuff with friends because I was working nights and weekends. And I was at an age where I wanted to do what I loved, you know, but that's where I was. If I would have joined real estate in my 20s, 30s, even early 40s, I would be on those phones because I am, like I said, I'm very high driven. I'm a super high D. I would totally be on those phones with FSBOs expireds. I'd be with Jason, you know, on the phone. Okay, how many did you get today? You know, and it really has to fit with what you want out of your life. So for some people, joining a team makes sense. For some people, doing it on their own and hiring a coach. I mean, shoot, some of the people that I coach one-on-one that are single agents are killing it because they just need the accountability, the direction, the systems and models, the sales strategy. So it doesn't mean that, you know, you don't have to join a team to get that. You can also get a coach. And that's a plug-in for myself and Eddie and Nick.
Those great sales skills in action. I love it.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions?
What does your coaching look like? What is your cost and all that, if you don't mind?
No, that's okay. It's a great question. So I usually have a first session, it's free. It's like a 1-hour session, and it's just you getting to know me getting to know you, and understanding what you need from your business to ensure that not only that we're a good fit, but that I can help you. Once I do that, I do a DISC assessment, a KPA assessment with you, and we go over that as well as so that you can understand what my DISC and KPA looks like. From there, I get an understanding of your big why, what's your purpose. I drill deep into that because if you don't have a big enough why, I'm not going to be able to coach you as effectively. So I will drill pretty deep on that. Once I feel like you've got a good big why, then we go into what is it that you want out of your real estate life? What do you want that to look like? And how does it look like with your personal life? And then we go and we look at the number statistics, and I help you build a business plan. Once I help you build a business plan, we're talking about how to calendar, right? And then there's accountability. Every Monday, you're sending me your calendar as well as your contacts and a slew of things that I ask you to do. And I track it so that on a monthly basis, we see if you're sticking to your schedule. If you're not sticking to your schedule, we're talking about what is hindering you from sticking to your schedule, and we make adjustments accordingly, right? There could be something going on in your personal life. Some of my coaching sessions, I will literally put down the books. I will just look at them and say, all right, we need to talk about what's going on personally. Because if we're not right personally, we can't be effective in business. So it's not just business, which is one of the reasons why I get to know you pretty deeply on a personal level, because it allows me a much better sense and ability to coach you. And so then it's accountability, it's systems and models. I help you very much streamline your business.
Is it like in 1 hour a week conversation,
So
30
the
minutes?
first 2 to 3 sessions, maybe even 4, it's 1 hour a week. Once we drill down into all of it, then they're 30-minute sessions once a week. We pick a time that works for both of us, and that stays on the calendar as a weekly. We know things come up. There could be vacation, emergency. When that happens, we try to reschedule, but it is once a week for 30 minutes. And the fee is, you cap at $1,000. When you do, my job is to get you to be closing at least 1 escrow a month, if not more. Okay. If you don't sell, I don't get paid. So if you don't do an escrow October, November, and I'm coaching you, I don't get paid. You do an escrow December, I get paid 10% of your escrow, and it tops out at 1,000.
I see. That's fair.
But trust me, if you're not selling 4 or 5 months, we're gonna have a conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else have any questions? All right, well, you guys have my phone number. It's 626-536-2537. I'm here to help you with any questions you have. You know, just because you're not in my brokerage doesn't mean I can't help. I'm always willing. You can reach out whenever you'd like, okay? Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, Susie.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Susie. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.